guys, welcome back to my page. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button to stay inspired and stay notified on how you can wise up and rise up from these narcissists. So if you clicked on this video, it's because you want to learn more about why do the narcissists hoover back in when they disregard you, or you disregard them and they say they want nothing else to do with you. Why do they hoover back in? So I'm going to share with you guys some tips on how I understood why they hoover back in. What does it look like when they're hoovering back in? And what are some patterns and tactics that they use to hoover back into your life? So with that being said, if you're new to my channel, I was in a narcissistic relationship for almost 18 years. So I fully understand what you're going through. I fully understand what you've been through, right? I can relate. One thing I like to do on my channel is I like to only talk about things that I've experienced, that I have knowledge about, that I can share with you guys instead of talking shit out my ass. So why, first of all, do they hoover back in? They hoover back in because at the end of the day, they want to always have access to you, right? Their biggest thing is understanding them is understand that you're like a object to them, right? That they want possession over and have access to anytime they feel like it. And this is why they hoover back in, because at the end of the day, they look at you as like you're their possession. So they want to drop you, they want to pick you up whenever they feel like it, and they want you to be okay with it, right? So that's why they hoover back in, because again, they look at you as like a shiny object that they want access to whenever they feel like it. They like this object, right? They're very fond of it. But at the same time, sometimes it's like this, again, a shiny toy, right? Kids, they play with this toy. They want this toy so badly. But at the end of the day, if somebody takes it away or they can't find that toy, they get upset. But when they want to play with it, they pick it up. When they don't want to play with it, they put it down. It's the same exact thing. So again, this is the reason why the narcissists hoover back in your life, right? Another, examples of hoovering is, so let's say they blocked you. They say they want nothing they throw a tantrum and they want nothing to do with you anymore. So they might have a memory of you. They might feel lonely. Things might not be going good with the new supply. They might not be getting the supply that they want, that they thought they can get from outside, but they're no longer getting it, or they can't find that feeling that you would give them. So they try to hoover back in to see, okay, I'm going to unblock you. I want access to you and I want it now. So I'm going to try my hardest to some tips on what they do. So they'll be nice to you. Randomly, they'll unblock you. They'll tippy toe back in. They'll start watching your social media platforms. They'll send you like a happy Valentine's Day, happy birthday, just small little tactics, or maybe make some comments on your social media. First you'll notice them start watching it, and then they'll start making comments, or, again, they'll send you a little text message. Hey, how's your day going? How are you doing? Right? They'll just try little things to try to, creep their way back in. So then you can turn around and say, hey, maybe they changed. Maybe they're not the same anymore. Maybe we can still be friends. That's another tip that they try, right? They'll say, hey, even though we ended things off at a bad way, whatever the case may be, can we still kind of like be friends? Can we still kind of be in contact? The best line that they love to use is, we don't have to have sex, but we can still be friends, and I can be there for you, kind of be a support system. I know that's what my narcissist would tell me, even though he was in a relationship with his new supply. And then later on, he would creep back in and make sexual jokes, or be like, hey, can I come over? Or I'll bring you this, and all this little things. And when he doesn't get his own way, he would then throw a tantrum. You get upset, then he'll block me again and then unblock me and all this other shit. So they have their patterns. They have their, and if you're going through a narcissistic breakup, or you're with a narcissist, then you can relate to these patterns, and you can honestly look and say, hey, if it's happening to, Tracy, and she was in a narcissistic relationship for almost 18 years, and this is happening to me, then it starts to click, and you start to understand the patterns. The more knowledgeable you are about the patterns, the tactics that these narcissists have, is the more stronger you're gonna feel of, not falling back into old ways with these narcissists, right? So then, some other ways that they hoover back in, right, is they'll maybe show up. Maybe they see you at a party, or maybe they know a family member, or they know a friend who's having an occasion or something like that, and they'll show up out of nowhere, right? And be like, oh, it's a coincidence I'm seeing you, et cetera, right? They'll talk to, let's say, a friend, right? They'll see a friend of yours, and then they would kind of use that friend to be like, hey, how is she doing? Tell her I said hi, tell her I said this, tell her I said that, just to hoover back their way into your mind, into your emotions. See, narcissists, even though if they disregard you, even though if they have a new supply, again, they look at you like an object that they can pick up and they can put down. And they really don't feel that you have the strength to fully move on. This is why they hoover back in, because in their mind, you'll never forget them. You're always going to be theirs, and they can always get what they want from you, right? Because they feel that you're weak. Because when you're in a narcissistic relationship, they really do feel like they break you down mentally and emotionally, right? So when they're broken down mentally and emotionally, in their sick eyes, that's how they continuously see you, even though if you move on, even though if you you block them, even though if you don't have zero contact with them, they still look at you as you're that weak person that you were when they broke you down the first time, crying and begging for them, right? So at the end of the day, narcissists really they don't believe that you will be that strong to fully move on, that you would be that strong to have strength to say enough is enough and, not give them access to you anymore. Again, they will do anything possible, even if you're dating somebody. I remember back in the days, before I knew my narcissist was a narcissist, even when he had a girlfriend and I had a boyfriend, he still wanted to have sex with me. He still wanted to have access to me. He would still call my phone. And I was young. I was like 15, 16. 16, 17. I didn't know who a narcissist was. I didn't know nothing about him. I just know he took my virginity and I was so in love. And, he was taking advantage of me, right? So it's the same thing now. Right? He has a new supply, right? And he knows I'm not talking to anybody, but he tries anything possible to like be nice to me and then be like, oh, we don't have to do anything. Let's hang out. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So that's how these narcissists work. They'll always try to hoover back in. That's why it's so important. And you hear people talk about it all the time, to have zero contact with them, right? Block, delete their number. If you don't have a child with these narcissists, it's so important to block and delete, because they're always going to try to hoover back in, right? They have patterns, they have tactics, right? And if you're experiencing a narcissistic abusive relationship, or you have and you're out of it, you understand what I'm saying, that it is patterns, right? That if you can connect the dots with other people experiences that wasn't a narcissistic relationship, then you can connect the dots with what you've been through and they've been through and say, okay, this is a pattern. This is not normal, right? And again, the more knowledgeable you are about these patterns and these tactics that, you're experiencing, and there's other people just like you experiencing the same thing, is when you can wake up and say, no, this is not right, right? So understanding the patterns of them, understanding the tactics of hoovering is what's going to, again, give you the strength to know that they don't come back because they love you. They don't come back because they miss you. They just want their ego to be stroked, and they just want attention. This is why they hoover back in, right? Even if they're talking to a new supply, even if they're, they blocked you, even if they left you on red, right? They're still going to hoover back in. The worst is when you left them. Their egos is bruised, and they're going to try everything up in their power to build it back up, right? So Again, understand the facts and why they're hoovering back in. I explained to you. Again, take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. This is my personal opinion on, the knowledge that I've learned about them through experience, hands-on experience, and B, from reading, doing my research. I can't tell people enough how important it is to research, educate yourself about your experiences, and that the patterns and the tactics and the way the narcissists think. And there's a pattern they have. Like, it's like a psychopath, right? A psychopath, there's patterns that the psychopath has that other psychopaths out there, and there is narcissistic psychopathic something traits that a narcissist has, that they have traits as a psychopath, right? So it's again, the more you educate yourself about the patterns and the tactics they have, is the more stronger you'll become to not let them hoover their way back into your life and take advantage of you. Because when they hoover back in, all they're doing really is taking advantage of you, right? Trying to use you, trying to utilize what they can get out of you to fill the hole within inside themselves, to make themselves happy. It's never about you, and it'll never ever be about you. It's more so about them. So stay woke, you guys. Stand in the facts. And I hope that this video has shed some light into understanding why narcissists hoover back in, and understanding some of the patterns and how they attempt to try to hoover back in. And again, stand in the facts, right? Don't make decisions off of your emotions, because your emotions is always going to be like, maybe he changed. I miss him. I loved him so much. And, he's being nice now. And no, stand in the facts. The facts is that they're toxic. The facts is that they're cheaters. The facts is that they're master manipulators. The facts is that they gaslighted you. The facts is they lied to you. The facts is, just stand in all the facts, on what they did to you before they walked out, or even if they're not walked out and they keep, using you and picking you back up. Stand in the facts and knowing that you don't want to get heartbroken again. You don't want to go through the pain and the trauma all over again, because the only person that's hurting you at that point is you. The only person that's breaking your heart at that point is you. So I hope that this, again, I just keep saying I hope, because I really, really want to make a difference in people's lives out there. If you enjoy my content and you feel like it's helping you, be a part of the Wise Up community, you guys. What this is that I'm starting a movement where we're going to put a stop to these narcissistic people, because the way that you can stop it is being educated about their patterns and their tactics. And then once you're educated and you understand it, then you'll be able to grow from it. That's why I call my movement the Wise Up, Rise Up movement. The more wiser you are, the more you can rise up from your circumstances, from your situations, and not keep going through the same shit, hurting your own self, right? So thanks again, you guys, for watching and listening. I'm gonna leave all the links to all the all the links to all the areas where you can join, whether that be my TikTok, my podcast that I drop every Thursdays, to also my Instagram. And then also on my Instagram and on my TikTok, there's a Linktree. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me to ask me personal questions about your current situation, I have a half an hour that I book for free, that you can ask me any questions you want, and I'll answer it and give you advice. And then from there, going forward, we can book a one-on-one to help you to grow mentally and emotionally and heal from your situations from this narcissist. Again, thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in and watching. I'll catch you guys on another video. Thanks. Stay safe, stay woke, and stay in the facts.